ಮನೆಯೊಳಗಣ ಕಿಚ್ಚು ಮನೆಯ ಸುಟ್ಟಲ್ಲದೆ ನೆರೆಮನೆಯ ಸುಡುವುದೇ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ. Basavanna's words might actually bring more anger to someone who has been going through anger. And perhaps it takes a very long journey to really reconcile with what he is trying to say. It makes a lot of sense intellectually, of course, but it's so simple, right? Those two lines. But to actually absorb and assimilate it emotionally, especially when you've gone through your share of adversity, like anyone, and therein I think lies a lot of solace that no one is spared by life, right? I've been thinking about anger for a very, very long time because I've been angry about a lot of things in life. In fact, I had a very self-destructive phase of wanting to be in that anger, because there is this rather dangerous romanticizing tendency to romanticize anger, as a powerful and powerful emotion, meaningful emotion. And there is probably some element of truth to that. Again, when I say this, I'm not trying to downplay anyone's right to righteous anger. I'm not denying anyone their visceral sufferings or none of that. It's just that it is also something I relate to. It is not easy, is it, to understand, first of all, the source of anger, and if there are multiple sources of anger, and then comes synthesizing it, processing it. So that way, at least after all these years, still struggling to deal with anger, I believe that anger is more of a catalyst, more of a means than an end. There is a paragraph in Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet, that eternal book that I keep going back to, and maybe I'll just read those lines before, I don't know, continue to contemplate on it. And it's really weird to do this in front of the camera, but I really, really felt like doing this video today. So Rilke writes to a young poet who's been in conversation with him for a while through missives, letters, and he says, "Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. So you mustn't be frightened if a sadness rises in front of you, larger than any you have ever seen. If an anxiety like light and cloud shadows moves over your hands and over everything you do, you must realize that something is happening to you, that life has not forgotten you, that it holds you in its hand and will not let you fall." I cannot for the love of my life still wrap my head around the fact that someone is capable of this kind of profound tenderness and gentleness while thinking about sadness and anxiety, and placing this in the context of anger makes it all the more poignant. And I want to cry. One of my friends, very dear friend, reached out recently about someone she knows who had to go through a great deal of pain and suffering at a very young age, and going through something that destroys or destructs your soul, so to speak, when you're at a tender age, it's not easy to really have a conversation about summoning tenderness from within, right? In fact, there is a danger of evoking more anger while doing that. So I guess this is when books like Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet, or say Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, can come in handy, helpful, like forces of saving one's self. So yeah, I guess there is also a danger, at least from a very personal point of view. There was a time when I did not want to let go of certain angers. Is that plural version correct? Anyway, yeah, different types of anger, and at one point it even felt like maybe, getting used to the idea of being a victim and not wanting to let that go, because what else do you have after that, right? It was a very, helpless, and also there was a tinge of arrogance I had, and some sort of stubbornness to not let go. Even there was this voice that was always gently coaxing me to think about it, not exactly rationalize. Again, that can be infuriating further, to intellectually dissect an emotional journey. There's a great deal of disservice there when especially someone around you, someone close to you, tries to articulate it for you or dissect it for you and intellectualize it for you. It's really infuriating. But I guess it's easier to listen to dead people, I think, more than alive ones. Please take this with a pinch of salt. I mean it as a joke. Forgive me if you don't find it funny. But that's the thing, right? I mean, to read Rilke now, to read Frankl, to read Basavanna, to read Akkamahadevi or Allama. I mean, anybody, any human mind that has spent a great deal of time thinking about these things, not in a smug, self-righteous way, because we're all screwed up in life, by life. No one escapes it. But yeah, them being in grave and far away in time might sort of make them much closer to our hearts, and it's easier to listen to them, to sit with them, their words, and let those words seep into the marrow of us. Anyway, yeah, if you know any when I say if you know any piece of literature that has helped you in your journey of processing your anger, synthesizing your anger, I don't mean psychological texts, although they might also be useful, but as someone to whom poetry and literature in general has helped a great deal, let me know if any work of art, any work of literature has helped you in your journey, has been helping you in your journey, because I don't think it's easy to place a lot of our emotions in the past. We will only continue to live with them and process them. Perhaps that's one's life's work, and it's very humbling that way. We will continue to make mistakes. We will continue to maybe rub people off the wrong way, when many of them come to us with good intentions and love also. But I guess to just admit it to ourselves and not being adamant about being angry could be at least a beginning, I hope. Because after all, we are here on this glorious, only life-giving planet just once, and it's ridiculous that it is so short, our lifespan here. So yeah, also a shout out to anyone who's going through their share of anger, fury, and similar things. We have never been alone, actually. Yeah, I wouldn't condescend to say you are not alone. Perhaps we were never alone, because there have always been people who have gone through much worse things than our imaginations can grasp, let alone our understanding, our the instrument of understanding, the phenomenon of understanding. So, like I said, hearing these things live or from someone we know can be a little annoying. So maybe it's better to go to all those books, all those people who have committed their tenderness and thoughts and sincere wishes for people to feel better. It's always safe to return to them, I guess. And they have a way of talking to us without trivializing any of our emotions, without denying us any of our emotions and responses. So yeah, I guess Rilke, Frankl, Basavanna stood out today a lot more than a whole range of people who have helped at least me in my journey. Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you about any pieces of literature that have helped you. Let me know in the comments, and maybe it's a conversation we can have, again, in a gentle way, not in a way to prove our intellect or it's not a contest to show that okay, I have deeper thoughts about this than someone else. It's never a contest, because that tends to happen on YouTube or social media in general. So yeah, we only have one another, as they say, as the wise ones say. I will come back with another video about I don't know what soon. Until then, take care. I wish you a meaningful life, and by that I mean your own meaning, your own process of making sense. Yeah, bye for now.